difference quotient. So go ahead and plug and chug. Let's go ahead and I'll write it down for you so you can see it. Oh, it hadn't presented. Am I presenting? Can y'all see it? Yeah. It's not. I'm not asking y'all, Anderson. All right. F of x is equal to negative 8x squared plus 2x plus 5. So I'm going to take my difference quotient and I'm going to write it in black, but I'm going to use, let's see, I'm just going to say M is equal to f x plus h minus f of x over h. And I'm going to put brackets around this, and I'm going to put brackets around that. Huh? I was waiting for it. I was going to close and lock the door. Okay, so I'm going to draw my first set of brackets right here. My second set right here. And we can go ahead and plug in the second set because that's just f of x. So that's negative 8x squared plus 2x plus 5. There she is. She's locked out. And we got cupcakes. So somebody brought cupcakes. Sorry, Easley. I mean, okay. The student brought them. I didn't. Probably right. But I'll take some and put them in a bag, and I'll send it to you in Oconee and Pendleton. How about that? I'll wrap it up in a bag, and I'll send it by the intercampus mail. Y'all want that? Yeah. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to hit negative 8 parentheses squared plus 2 times parentheses plus 5. And I'm going to put all that over h. All right, now I want you to plug and chug and start doing your algebra because you got a lot of algebra to do on that top line. Yeah, you might as well quit. No sense in trying. Because Bernie is going to take care of all of you. Bernie is going to make sure all of you are taken care of.
Thank you, classmate.
No sense in, self-improvement. Let the government take care of you. All right, what am I going to plug in? I'm going to plug in what? X plus h, and I'm going to put it right here and right there. Now, the reason I'm moving all of it up here is because you got a lot of algebra there to do. Got a shortcut to do. Then you've got common terms, and you got to distribute a negative. So I would just what?
Quit.
I would quit. I wouldn't even try it.
Yes, I told her that's all I got 3 plates.
See, and she got vanilla and chocolate. She's versatile. If I was not controlled, I would eat the whole chocolate. The whole thing. I could eat that whole thing. I'll just get out my protein bar.
That hurts my ears.
Oh, too. Yep. This is chocolate peanut butter. And this is s'mores. You ever heard of s'more? Little piece of this like that? And they're not frozen. They're not frozen at all. What do you think? I'll send y'all one, Pendleton and Oconee. I'll send y'all a protein bar.
All right.
Say again.
No.
What are you talking about?
What?
He's just blabbering on it in the background.
What are y'all talking about? All right, so y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
I think so.
What you do is you take it apart.
And put it on top.
And then you just pour milk all over them and just eat all ball like soup. That's what you do.
Okay, you took it too far.
The chocolate ones now, the vanilla ones, I'll throw them in the trash can. So I'm one of those people that if you give me a half a gallon of vanilla ice cream and a half a gallon of chocolate, I'll just throw the vanilla in the trash can. So, -8 x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h plus 5 plus 8x squared minus 2x minus 5. Let's go ahead and distribute this -8. So that's going to be a what? -8x squared. So I'm going to use my eraser here. That's going to be -8x squared. I wish I'd make that. Maybe you can make that eraser smaller, but I don't know because I haven't had training yet. Okay, so that's going to be -8x squared minus, what, 16x? Minus 8h squared. I'm gonna put red minuses there, so I will remember that that's a minus, not a plus. I'm trying to save space. Okay, and now we go through and we take out the common terms that will cancel. 8x squared will cancel with that 8x squared, that -5 and that +5, that -2x and that +2x. And that's going to leave us with -16xh minus 8h squared plus 2h over h. And that's going to be equal to h. And you can factor out a 2, but is that my concern with this problem? No, my concern is you get rid of the h, as many h's as you can. So I don't care about the 2. -16x minus 8h plus 2 over h, and the h's cancel. The equation for the tangent line is -16x squared minus 8h plus 2.
That's supposed to be squared, I think.
What'd you say?
Is it squared?
Okay, thank you. I would have. Can't have a square because it's got to be a straight line because it's sloped. Oh. Okay, so that should be your answer. Now I'll check it with a little bit of calculus. 2 times 8 is -16x to the first power plus 2. Yep, that's right. Because h is going to cancel out because this is going to be 0, but that's calculus.
That's calculus.
I'm gonna give you another one. I gotta let this.
I know you're going to get another one. I knew it. All right, so let's do again. Let's do this again. Let's go ahead and let's type it in and let's see if we know what we're doing. -16x minus 8h
I'm lucky like this one.
plus 2.
And
And you feel good about yourself.
I sure do. I ain't do this problem.
See? Now, if you go into calculus and you don't know how to do this, what do you make on the first test? You fail the first test because this is half of the first test in calculus. And you've got to know this like you know how to play a piano or whatever.
Upstairs?
Oh, I teach it in here.
No, you take your class upstairs too.
I do. I teach 202. Yeah, in 202, that's 120. Okay, so let's do a nerd. Let's try that one. And if you can't do it, then,
I can't do it. I ain't even gonna
okay,
try.
yeah, just try, don't try.
That's why we got 3 attempts on that test.
You're not supposed to take advantage of it, you're supposed to try your best the first time.
I'm trying.
Good gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Japanese cherry blossoms going to go
That's all
in.
I got. Okay, let me see. Hey, next time someone decides to bring cupcakes, some pictures.
Did she ask for more food?
She did.
But I'm very
Well, I'll tell you
grateful.
this.
I'm very grateful.
That's a whole lot better than, oh, I'm not hungry, or whatever. We had that discussion before you got here.
You'll never hear them words come out of my mouth.
Guys, you ever taken a girl out on a date, guys, Pendleton? And up there at Oconee? Oh, I'm not hungry. Yeah, whatever.
I'll eat a whole
All right, then
burger,
get your
some
stuff
fries,
in the
and
car and let me
everything.
take you back
I
home.
don't care how you feel.
And then she goes home and she eats like a turkey leg.
Who does that?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of girls that do that.
That's dead. Listen, if a guy expect me to do that, then he need to find somebody else.
That's those Barbie types.
Because I promise, if you take me somewhere with a burger,
Oh, you go out to Longhorn and dang old blooming onion or chili fries. Oh, I'm not hungry. Just I'll get water.
I'll be like, haha. I'll be like, you can get a water if you would
I'll
like.
be like, I'm fixing to go over to the bar.
Like, I want the
I'm gonna just leave you here.
I want like a 12-piece wing. You're like,
All right, can y'all see this up there?
I'm trying.
F of x
Wait, give me time.
is equal to negative 3x squared. Y'all should be halfway done. Plus 6x plus 8.
Halfway started. You remember the steps he was telling us? Every time you take 4 steps, then you take 2 or something? That's me.
Disappointment.
You'll never get to the mall. That's me. I'll never get this. Y'all know what he was talking about the other day?
Yeah.
I don't even know why
You
I
always
tried.
do the half step. That's me right now.
I don't even know why I tried.
It's like this. I'm like, no, take 2 steps.
Y'all get the word.
Half of that.
I bet.
I know why y'all can't do math now. Y'all too busy talking.
I never noticed that window.
It's been
What?
Okay, never mind.
What?
I said, I can't. Like, I do like what he's doing. Okay, let me see here. Let me get myself together. What you doing? You wanna fight me? Bad. So you just put me in
Shh. The answer will be 6x, negative 6x plus 6. And it'll have an H in it, but I'm just telling you, it'll look something like that. Are y'all in a singing mood this morning? Good gracious, everybody's singing. Okay.
Slow down, Pendleton.
Oh, Lord. Worse than my son. My son hears a song and he thinks he's got to sing it. That's when I hit him on the head with a board. He gets about 3 words out and I hit him. So, yeah, she had the melons. No, I want y'all to eat those. Because I can eat all of those in one sitting. I should eat those. Well, I'm taking those down to the information desk down there. I'm giving them away as soon as y'all get out of here. I can't.
No, go ahead and put something in there.
So listen, she's gonna take them home. She's gonna sell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this, and I'm going to put big old sets of parentheses where the X's are. And that's going to be my first bracket. Minus my second bracket, which is easy because your second bracket is just what? F of X. So you're just going to rewrite F of X. So hopefully y'all won't mess up the second part. Y'all will.
I messed up the second part.
I figured. How'd you mess it up? You forgot to distribute the negative?
No, I left out the negative in front of the 3.
Yep. See, y'all can break a hammer with a banana.
What does that even mean?
What? What?
What does that even mean?
Well, look up a banana and look up an anvil. And if you can break a anvil with a banana, that means you can mess up anything. All right, so I'm going to take, and I'm going to color this X plus H because I'm trying to get y'all to learn this stuff. I'm going to put that in there.
She has a question for us.
Nope. Yes.
Okay. Why did you take away the squared like that?
Oh, okay. I just dropped it just for I don't know. But it wouldn't matter because I know I'm supposed to use shortcut number 1 here.
Okay.
So I would have called it when I did that because you always use shortcut number 1 on that X plus H, always. So it's kind of like habit. So here we go. Negative 3 x squared plus 2xh plus 8 squared plus 6x plus 6h plus 8 plus 3x squared minus 6x minus 8. All that over h. I don't want to put slope. Let me put slope and put a EQ. What does that EQ mean? Slope equation. You're finding the slope equation. All right, now the rest of it is 100% what? Algebra. Actually, if you want to know the truth about it, there's only 10% right here that is actually new. And that's where you what? Plug in the what? X plus H. From here down is just 100% what? Algebra 1 / algebra 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so since you plug in the X plus H on that one. Oh, never mind.
Because go back to the formula up at the top.
Yeah.
You don't plug in X plus H on the second one. You just rewrite F of X. That's why I put the brackets around it so you can see that all you do for the second part is just rewrite F of X.
Yeah, because it says F. Oh, look at this.
Okay. So the negative 3x, so that's going to be negative 3x squared. So I'm just going to erase that. And that's going to be negative 3x squared minus 6xh minus 3h squared. I'm trying to fit it in there. And of course, the 3x squareds do what? And the negative 6x goes out. And the 8 goes out. All right, now that's going to give me M equation is equal to negative 6xh minus 3h squared plus 6h over h. And yes, you can cancel singularly if you want to, just with, crossing this out and crossing. You can do that, but I have found students make a lot of mistakes doing that. So that's why I don't suggest it. So I'm going to factor out a h, and that's going to give me negative 6x minus 3h plus 6. And the h's cancel. That's supposed to happen. Everything in red is supposed to happen. If it doesn't happen, then that probably means you've done something wrong. So the last possible answer is negative 6x minus 3h plus 6. Remember me telling you the answer was negative 6x plus 6 at the beginning of the problem with the h term? There it is, negative 6x plus 6, and it has an h. Now, in first unit of calculus, that's going to go out. That h term is going to go out. Because the distance from
b to 0.
Exactly, it's coming to 0, going to 0. All right, so that's a good question. These are good test questions, because if I'm going to give you a question on difference quotient, it's going to be with a quadratic, because that's what we're heading toward in chapter 3, quadratics. So let's type this one in and go to the next homework problem. Negative 6x minus 3h plus 6. Are you on your calculator? Okay. Because when you ask me a question, I'm gonna get on my calculator. All right, check it. And that's a good job. All right, so we're gonna go to another question that you sent, and I don't know if it's the same, but 8. Okay, first of all, Mr. Duffy, does that help yours? Because you and Mr. Ray sent the same question. Is that good?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move to 8. This is number 8. This is your next question on your homework. 7 and 8. And Chark County's already signed me out.
We're going forbidden.
God, this is so ridiculous. Hold on, guys. Sorry. There we go. Okay, this is composition. F composed of G. This is a test question. Now, they do give you something, so you're going to have to think. This is in reverse. They give you h of x. So I'm going to rewrite this. We're going to plug and chug to the equation, because we have no idea what f of x is. We know that the result is equal to what? 9 minus 3x what? Squared. Now, we know it's f composed of g. So f composed of g means we got a big set of parentheses with something with what plugged in. So we know g of x is equal to what? 9 minus 3x. So does everybody agree that what's plugged in is 9 minus 3x? Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
So that means g of x is equal to 9 minus 3x. Therefore, f of x, somebody tell me what f of x is equal to. Well, if I plugged in g of x right there, then that means parentheses squared is what? F of x. So parentheses squared, which that means f of x is equal to x squared. So we're going what? Not going forwards, we're going what? Backwards. Yeah, you're going backwards.
Okay.
So, what do you do on these? The first thing you do is you rewrite the result. Okay, you need to look at it. There's the result right here. The second thing you do, look for what's plugged in. And what's plugged in is what's inside the what? So whatever's left is your f of x. You got it? Whatever's left is f of x. And we can go the other way also. We can go both ways. Capiche? So we just put in x squared, and you feel good about yourself.
Put X.
Good job. You feel good about that?
Okay, I don't know what the heck that's. I don't know what I
You
just
haven't
did.
had any training.
I haven't had any. There we go. So we got it right, and now I don't know how to get out of this because I just made it full screen. Oh, there we go. I didn't know I could do that. I don't even know what I hit. How about F11?
Ah.
Oh my gosh, that's something new. I can make the whole thing. Look there. Did y'all know that?
No.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Liar.
Not on everything.
Okay. All right, let's see if this one's a little bit different, because this is a test question, so. No, that's about the same type, so. Okay, now, I'm gonna get rid of all these, and I want to get into chapter 3. What I've been waiting on getting into. So let's get to chapter 3, because evidently y'all know chapter 2 material, because I don't have any more questions. So let's go to the handy dandy board, and let's check, see how much left in our 10-minute class. You got 20 minutes. All right, chapter 3. Chapter 3, I'm going to spend some time on, because chapter 3 is going to help you tremendously in future classes, preferably calculus if you're heading that way. All right, chapter 3. What is chapter 3? Chapter 3 focuses on sketching quadratics. Okay, now thank you. You read you're the one person that read your outline. Thank
She was
you.
reading.
Whoever did it, thank you. Oh, you printed it out and put it in your notebook. Wow, what a concept. I ought to tell y'all to do that at the beginning of the semester. Print it out and put it in front of your notebook.
We have an outline syllabus.
Listen, I have live PDs. I call that's my students that don't do what I tell them. I call them live PDs because they're going to end up on live PD. Going 110 miles an hour on interstate with 5 bags of cocaine, busted out tail light, you pull them over. I ain't done anything. Y'all remember those people from high school that mess up, do everything in class, and the teacher calls on them and they go, I didn't do anything. That's what they grow up to be. Okay, so I don't know how I got on quadratics, but sketching quadratics. You're going to use the complex, and I'm going to integrate. I'm not going over complex right now. I'm going to integrate, all right? We're going to be using completing the square.
I like it.
Why do I emphasize completing the square? Because, one, sometimes you can't what? You can't factor, meaning that it's prime. Sometimes you can't use the shortcuts. And the only time you use the quadratic formula, you use the quadratic formula when you have decimals in your quadratic. So the quadratic formula is useless unless you have a calculator. So the only thing that grandfathers everything into it and does not depend on you to have a calculator is completing the square. Why? Because all you use is second, third grade math with fractions. Now, if you can't do fractions, then you pretty much suck. Okay? So we're going to spend the next 2 or 3 days doing nothing but completing the square, and we're going to go from the baby step of 1 on the scale of easy all the way up to a 10. So that's why we go over that's why we go over completing the square. So let's start off with something simple. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 1. F of x is equal to x squared plus 3x minus 7. Now, I know this is not factorable because 1 times 7 is 7. And 7 and 1 will give me an 8 and a 6. What's in the middle?
A 3.
A 3, so it's not factorable. We know that it crosses the y-axis at 7, but that doesn't help us at negative 7. So what's the first thing to do? First thing you do, if I want to find my x-intercepts, I set 0, set y equal to what?
0.
So that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to say x squared plus 3x minus 7 is equal to 0. I plugged in 0 for y, which is f of x. Second thing to do, move C. Now I love when I write move C because the first question students ask is where we move it.
A.
Well, there's only one place you can move it. If it's on the left-hand side, there's only one place you can move it. To the right. So I'm going to move C over here and rewrite third, add blanks. Add blanks. So x squared, oh shoot, hold on just a second. I need to change that 3 to, let's change it to a 2. Because I don't want to give you a fraction right now. Because some of y'all's head will explode.
Already.
Now come on, there's nothing hard about what we're doing so far. There's no math involved. Okay, now that's your first 3 steps. Now everybody should be able to do that without any problem. Okay, now, the fourth thing is the crucial point. The fourth thing, I'm going to put in red. Fourth, b divided by 2, square it, add blanks. Add to your blanks. All right, so I'm going to take b, which is 2, divided by 2, and square it. So what's 2 divided by 2? 1. And 1 squared is 1. And that 1 goes there and there. Now that is the most crucial part of, now later on there's 2 crucial parts, but right now on a 1 to a 4, on a scale of 1 to 4 easiness, you're talking about the most crucial point. And that will give you, take our blue pen, no, green, because I want you to highlight this in green.
Okay.
What will that give you on the left-hand side?
8. No,
It's quadratic.
Shortcut number 1 or 2, depending on this sign. Shortcut number 1 or number 2, based on that sign. So that's going to give us x plus 1, quantity squared, equals 8. Now so far, we haven't done anything but basic math and 1 algebraic rule. Now I don't see how anybody can say that's difficult. Do you know what the problem is here? methodology. You have to do this by what? Steps. And some of y'all have a problem with doing that, meaning y'all students. You want to do everything between the two blue lines of your notebook paper. And it's not done that way. Problem solving is not done that way. Unless you're Rain Man, and if you're Rain Man, you wouldn't be at Tri-County Tech, you'd be at Las Vegas counting cards. So, at this point, I'm going to squeeze this over on the left-hand side because we've got a fork in the road here. We've got two ways we can go. So I'm going to rewrite this at the top of the next column. X plus 1 quantity squared equals 8.
Okay.
Now the two ways we can go, on the left fork, we can get our vertex, which is your what? Your highest or your what point? Lowest point. That's the point where you're actually flying. You're not going up or what? Down. And over here, we're going to solve for our x-intercepts. That's where we may get into the square root of a negative, which means no x-intercepts. And when we get to that, that'll get 3.1 out of the way. So right now, I do not want anybody working on 3.1 unless you're reviewing and you remember 3.1. We're not doing that right now. Right now, I just want you to focus. I don't want you to do any homework on Chapter 3 yet. Of course, there's going to be one or two of y'all that's going to try it, and you're going to get confused. You're on your own. All right, now, to get the vertex, first of all, this is in a working format, meaning that you can, if you use the working format, you just take the opposite. Under the working format, you take the opposite of both. Opposite of both. So what's the opposite of positive 1?
Negative.
So that's the x. And what's the opposite of 8? So that is our vertex. Again, we have done no math. All we've done is taken the opposite of 1 and 8.
I have a question.
Yes.
Might be really dumb.
Yeah, it is. I'm already going to tell you.
But like, I'm just gonna go ahead and add. Okay. What would it be if you, okay, so you have that formula, right? And then you minus 8 and bring it back to that side, right? Then take.
That's what I'm fixing to go over. You're very gifted. You're still gonna fail the class, but you're gifted. All right, there's another way we can write it, and it's called intercept form. This is what the book and the homework likes. So you need to put a star beside this. And that's what she just said. You bring the 8 over and you put an f of x in front of it. And this is what you learned in chapter 2 to find the vertical and the horizontal what? Shift.
I paid attention to your question.
Good.
You told me.
So f of x
With 3 tries?
is equal to x plus 1 quantity squared minus what? 8. And this is what the test and the homework may ask for. And it'll say general form or it'll say intercept form, something like that. So for the first few times that I do completing the square, I'm going to do both. I'm going to write it as a vertex, and then I'm going to put it in intercept form. That way you can get used to both. If you have it in intercept form, you take the opposite here, and you just bring this down. So what's the opposite of, what's the horizontal shift? Positive 1. Negative 1, left 1. And then you just bring down, and there's your vertex. So you can get the vertex both ways. Now, we solve for x. So how do we undo a square? Take the square root of both sides. I'm going to put that in blue. Now, I don't want you reaching for the calculator because you don't need to. We are going to sketch these graphs. So that means for homework and tests, yes, use your calculator, that's fine. But for what you do in the class as far as notes and what I'm doing, I want you to guesstimate.
Yes.
What's the square root of 9?
3.
So what do you think the square root of 8 is?
Plus 3.
2.9. So, X, and y'all are sitting there going, how do you get 2.9? People, if the square root of 9 is 3, then what is the square root of 8? It's around 2.9 because 8 and 9 are right there together. So equals positive or negative 2.9. How do you get rid of a positive 1? You minus 1. What's $2.90 minus $1? $1.90. So that's one of our X-intercepts. What's if you owe somebody $2.90 and you owe somebody $1, what do you owe them? 3.9. And now we have our points to sketch our graph.
Hooray.
And we feel good about ourselves. So here is our graph. I'm going to use colors here, so you might want to use, okay, I'm going to use magenta. And magenta is going to be our vertex right here. So there's magenta. So -1, -8. -1, -8. There's our vertex. Okay, now I'm going to use another color. Let's use this orange. Orange. What's our Y-intercept? -7. And now I'm going to use my blue for my X-intercepts. 1.9. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what can we do with those 4 points? Draw a sketch. We know it's a parabola.
Oh my goodness.
And now you know how to sketch a graph without even using a calculator. Now, tell me in this problem where there is major college math. There's not any. The only part that may be algebra is this part right here. And that's a shortcut. The rest of it is basic what? Basic method, basic steps, or basic math. So if you tell me that this is hard, you're basically telling me that you can't do what?
You gotta do
So
math.
please don't say nothing until after we practice a little, because you don't want to hang a sign around your neck that says, I can't do basic math. Now, by the way everybody's convulsing and zipping, I'm going to check the time. Okay, I still have 2 minutes, so why are y'all convulsing?
Okay, can we do it?
No, I'm just kidding. We can't do another one, because if I try to do another one, somebody will spontaneously combust.
Okay, can I stay there?
So,
Can you
no.
do one with me?
Well, you can. I'll do another one if you want to.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys.
So let me go ahead and pull up the handy dandy attendance sheets. How many's in here? Everybody's here. Everybody's at Oconee. Okay, everybody's here. Do not work on chapter 3. I want y'all to finish chapter 2. Capiche? All right. Online, I don't want you working on chapter 3 either. But, I know that some of them will. All right.